It all began one quiet evening in the small town of Riverton. Sarah, an ordinary woman with a love for stargazing, had always felt there was something out there in the vastness of space. One evening, while watching the stars from her backyard, she noticed a strange flickering in the sky. It wasn't a plane or a satellite. It was something far more unusual, far more deliberate. The light danced in the sky like it had a mind of its own, and Sarah felt an uneasy thrill. The flickering stopped, and for a split second, there was complete silence. Then, as if answering her curiosity, a voice crackled through the air, soft at first, but growing clearer with each passing moment. It was as though the voice was coming from her own thoughts, but with an otherworldly, unfamiliar tone. "Do you hear us?" Frozen, Sarah couldn't move. She looked around, half expecting someone to jump out and play a trick on her. But there was no one. No one in her quiet neighborhood had heard the voice except her. She felt a chill run down her spine. The voice continued, but this time it spoke directly to her, as if it knew her deepest fears. "Through your eyes, we will see." Confused and a little scared, Sarah stumbled backward, bumping into her porch railing. The voice was gone, but a lingering sensation of being watched stayed with her. As the days passed, she felt as if something was always just out of her reach, just behind her. She began to notice things, small things, like the way animals behaved oddly around her and the way shadows seemed to follow her at night. It wasn't until the third day that she found a strange symbol carved into the tree by her house. Terrified, Sarah contacted her local authorities. But when they arrived, the symbol was gone. It was as though it had never been there. She started to feel like she was losing her mind. Was this all just a hallucination? Or was something truly happening that she couldn't explain? Then, one evening, as Sarah sat in her living room, staring out the window, the lights in her house flickered. She rose from her seat and cautiously moved to the window. The same flickering light was there, right outside her window, just beyond the trees. It hovered, as if waiting for her. The voice returned. "Come closer. We are waiting." Days passed, but the eerie presence outside Sarah's window didn't fade. The voice in her mind grew stronger, more insistent. Desperation clawed at her. She had to know what was going on. She gathered the courage to walk outside, stepping toward the trees where the light had been. As she approached, she felt the air shift, like something powerful was just beyond her reach. And then, a figure appeared, not human, but something else entirely. It was tall, covered in a shimmering exoskeleton that seemed to pulse with a strange energy. Its eyes, large and reflective, glimmered with an intelligence that seemed both ancient and alien. The creature did not speak, but Sarah heard the voice again, clearer this time, as though it were coming from within the creature's mind. "We are the sentinels of the stars. You have seen us through your eyes, and now we will see through yours." Before Sarah could react, the creature reached out with long, slender fingers, placing one of its cold, smooth hands against her forehead. A flood of images washed over her, visions of distant galaxies, strange worlds, and ancient civilizations. She saw the creatures who had been watching her, their eyes following her every movement, observing her every action. It was overwhelming, the sheer volume of information flooding her mind. But one thing stood out: the connection between her and these beings was deeper than she could understand. The creature spoke again, its voice calm but full of authority. "We have been watching your world for eons. You are not the first to make contact, but you are the first to see us, truly see us. You have unlocked the path to understanding. Through your eyes, we shall reveal ourselves to others." Sarah was dizzy from the influx of visions, but she couldn't look away. There was no fear in her now, only curiosity. These beings were not here to harm her. They were here to show her something. But what? She had no idea that the answer would come soon, and it would change everything. That night, the skies over Riverton shimmered like never before. The stars seemed to align in a way Sarah had never seen, and a massive ship descended from the sky. It was unlike anything she had ever imagined, sleek and powerful, hovering just above the ground. The ship's doors opened, and the beings she had met outside began to move toward it, beckoning her to follow. But there was a decision to make. Sarah stood there, torn between the life she knew and the mystery unfolding before her. Could she trust these creatures? Could she really leave everything behind to explore the universe with them? The answer came with a whisper from the voice she had heard all along. Come with us. See what you are meant to see. Sarah stood on the edge of the unknown. The ship loomed before her, its lights casting strange shadows across the landscape. She could feel the pull, a magnetic force drawing her in, promising answers, adventure, and perhaps even a greater purpose than the one she had led on Earth. But as she stepped forward, a voice in her head broke through the silence. Remember who you are. Remember your world. It was the voice of her mother, long gone, but it echoed in her mind, reminding her of the life she had once cherished. Was she ready to abandon everything she knew? Was the unknown worth the risk of never seeing her family, her friends, or her home again? The creature stood before her, awaiting her decision, but it spoke with no urgency. There was patience in its eyes, a timelessness that suggested they had seen many humans come and go. We are not your captors, Sarah. We offer a choice, but the path you take is yours alone. She looked back at the town behind her, the small, quiet world she had always known. But the stars above her seemed to beckon. And in that moment, she understood. The universe was vast, and her place in it was only a fragment of something much larger. She was meant for something more. With a deep breath, she made her decision. I will come with you. The beings did not react with joy or excitement, but with a deep respect. They had waited for this moment for centuries, and now, it was time. The creature extended its hand, and Sarah took it without hesitation. As she stepped aboard the ship, she looked one last time at the world she had known. But the future now lay before her, bright and full of promise. As the ship ascended, the sky opened up, and Sarah's heart raced with excitement. She had made the choice to see the universe, to understand it through the eyes of those who had watched her all along. She had crossed the threshold of a new beginning. And as the ship disappeared into the vastness of space, she knew one thing for certain: she would never look at the stars the same way again.